Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. Thanks for joining me as I reminisce about some of the things I learned on my trip to Israel in the year 2000, and as I share some of the smaller insights and things I saw while I was there. After the Sabbath, we began our tour the next day by going to the traditional site of King David's tomb. It looked like most monuments that we might have even today, except for one thing. Carved into the granite and marble were images of pomegranates. I remember racking my brain to come up with a Bible story about King David and pomegranates, but I couldn't think of one. However, our guide came to the rescue. You might remember that the Bible describes David as a man after God's own heart. And for many, that means he was zealous for the law of God. He sought to follow it and to lead the people that way. Most biblical scholars consider that there are 613 laws in the Old Testament that the Jews are supposed to follow, and interestingly, if you open a pomegranate and count them, pomegranates have exactly 613 seeds inside. So pomegranates became a symbol of the law given by God. Later in the day, we went to the Church of St. Peter in Gallicantu. This was a dark church, done mostly in black, because it was the site of Peter's denial of Christ. In fact, the name of the place is Gallicantu. Galla means cock, and cantu means sing. I'm sure you remember that the cock crowed just after Peter denied Jesus. This church was in the courtyard of the ruins of Caiaphas's palace. You may recall that Caiaphas was the high priest, and when they arrested Jesus, they took him to the high priest to be examined and then to be held until daybreak. Under his palace there are several deep pits that were used to hold prisoners, and it is very likely that Jesus was put in one of these. They were remarkably effective. They had no door. They were deep enough you couldn't climb out, and the only way out was to have a rope let down to you to be pulled out. It wasn't hard to imagine Jesus in one of those dark pits, praying the words of Psalm 88, which talks about feeling forsaken and being thrown into the pit. On this day, we spent some time talking about the temple in Jerusalem as well. Here's another small bit of trivia. There were 2 doors to enter the temple courtyard. Everyone going in used the door on the right, and so did the people going out, so that one door was used primarily for going in and the other one for going out. Unless you were having personal problems. If that were the case, then you used the door on the left, and when everyone saw that, they knew you were out of sorts and that if you were short with them, they understood and had compassion. Finally, we went to Bethlehem and the Church of the Nativity. In fact, this church has been attacked and destroyed several times, but inside is an ancient mosaic of the wise men from the east kneeling before Jesus. When the invaders from the east came and entered to destroy the site, they saw the mosaic, recognized the clothing of their people, and left the site intact. Perhaps when we are in the pits of our own despair, we can think about Jesus in that pit under Caiaphas's palace and know that as dark as things seem, God never forsakes us. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.